Hello and welcome. This is Julie Kay here with a design team project for Tsunami Rose. For my design team project, I created a faith-based junk journal. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today to see my very first design team project for Tsunami Rose. And in case you guys aren't aware what Tsunami Rose is, it is an Etsy store that sells digital kits and ephemera that you can use for journal making along with a variety of other crafts like card making. You can use stuff in scrapbooks, some altered items, those kind of things for some different ideas that you can use for the digital kits. And the company is owned by Daisy, and along with selling some of the digital kits and ephemera on her store, she also sells some journals that she creates herself. And then she also just started recently a program where she actually prints off some of the digital kits for you and mails them to you. So those ladies and gentlemen out there that don't want to print off their own kits, you can purchase them already printed from Daisy. So that's a really nice service that she is providing for people. And then I also, before I begin, I just wanted to say thanks to a couple people for different stuff that I used in this journal, just so I don't have to stop at every embellishment in each thing and thank people for giving them to me. But first of all, of course, I want to say thanks to Daisy for letting me be on her design team. I'm really excited about that. I really love her stuff, and I've purchased a lot of her kits and ephemera in the past. So I'm very thankful to be a part of her team. And then I also wanted to say thanks Shonda, who is Slim Cards here on YouTube. She gifted me some trim in a package that I won from her not too long ago off of YouTube. Also to Carmen, who is Elemental Designs. I used a stencil that she had gifted me, some trim, and a bingo stamp. Also to my friend Sherry, she's constantly giving me paper scraps and different ephemera pieces and different things that she comes across that she no longer wants in her stamp room. So I'm always using her stuff in all my journals. And then also a thanks to Kim, who is Serene Bookworks. Quite a while ago, she gifted me some different pieces of paper, but also some little pocket envelopes, and so I was able to use one of the pink envelopes that she had gifted me in this journal. So thank you, ladies. It does measure 5.5 by 8, and it has a 1.5 inch spine. I did add a little cross charm up at the top that I purchased at Tuesday morning along with some flower trim. And inside the flower trim I did add some flat back pearls. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. On the back, I did just leave it pretty plain. I just added some trim along with the flat back pearls on the side, and then stamped my signature stamp and just did some basic layering with some papers on the back. I also used eyelet closures with some seam binding in it. And I did want to show you guys, I do get questions about where I find my seam binding and where I find the bright colors that I use. Sometimes this one's a little bit more subdued than some of the ones that I've used in the past. But I do purchase, it's actually vintage seam binding that I find at the thrift stores. So here's 2 samples that I haven't used. And usually you can find them, like this one I purchased for $1, I think, which was the original price way back when. This original price was 15 cents. But a lot of times I can get them for 10 to 25 cents. And then a lot of times I do find them in grab bags with stuff. So that's what I use for my seam binding on my journals. So I thought I would share that. And then on the cover here, I did layer up part of Daisy's kits, which I will link all of the different kits and ephemera that I use in the journal below. I will link her Etsy store, and she also has a blog and a Facebook group, so I will try and link all that information, but I'll also list out the names of the kits and the ephemera so that you guys can find them easier on her Etsy store. But she did, in part of the kit that she sent me, she did send a couple covers, and so I did choose to use this one, and it was had already the My Faith Journal sentiment on there, so I just chose to add a little frame. And the person that gets this, there still is an opening up here, so if you choose to stick another piece of paper, if you want to put your name in there or give it a different title, you are able to do that. So there is room for that. On the side I did have some lace underneath here, and then I also put this flower trim over it. And the reason why I ended up doing the flower trim over it, and so this is just kind of a little bit of a share, even those of us who have been crafting for a long time are constantly learning new things about our supplies and making mistakes. And so this flower trim that I added over the original lace was to cover up a little mistake or boo-boo, and I just wanted to share that with you guys real quick. And so what happened is I attached all my paper using matte medium. I use it all the time. It's kind of like Mod Podge, but it's more of an artist quality. I do use it to protect things, but I also use it to glue. And it's worked great for me in the past. So I did do that with these bottom 2 layers. And then I was attaching the lace, and the lace I used to glue the lace on was actually Fabri-Tac. A lot of people use it. And what happened when I did that was it turned a bright pink. And usually when you use matte medium, it protects your layer and nothing happens to it. But for some reason this time it turned a bright pink, and you can maybe see a little bit of it underneath here. But I covered up most of it with that flower trim. So what I ended up doing, just to remind myself, I think it was the type of paper that I used that it bled, because I have used Fabri-Tac in the past over matte medium that's been on paper and have never had issues, but this time I did. I did glue a piece of that scrap lace onto the actual paper, and again, it's probably not going to show up very well on camera, but it does turn a bright pink when that glue dries, which I don't like. So that I wrote a little note down here about the paper that I used, what glue that I used, and then I also tried this same paper with the matte medium with a different type of glue. So this time I did try the Fabric Fusion from Aleene's, and it worked. It didn't bleed that time. So I just make a note of that, and I have a little spot where I keep track of notes for stuff that I learn while I'm making journals. And so this little note's going to go in there with my little chicken scratching here, just so I learned that maybe I don't want to use that Fabri-Tac glue on this Bo Bunny paper ever again, because it does bleed like that. And then also on this cover, then getting back to the cover, I did then add another piece of that little flower trim with flat back pearl into it. So now I will get into the actual journal. Usually I don't spend that much time talking about the cover, but I did want to share that info with you guys, especially those of you who are learning to make junk journals, just so you guys know that even those of us who have been making journals for a long time, we still are constantly learning and making mistakes, and it's just kind of fun to figure out how you're going to fix that mistake and what you're going to do. So I just wanted to share that with you. And so when you open it up, I did also include this piece of chipboard. So the person that's getting it, you can put the chipboard behind whatever page you're writing on, and you have a hard background, so then you don't have to worry about all the embellishing and stuff. So I am including that for the person who's getting this. So on the inside cover, I did include, or I have a little pocket here, and this is just from like a wedding invitation kit that I picked up at the thrift store really cheap. So I have a whole bunch of these, so I've just been using them every now and again in journals because they make nice pockets. So inside the pocket I included some of Daisy's ephemera pieces, and this is, I believe, part of a vintage advertisement set with the pretty flowers. And then I also stamped on just some craft paper, just some Bible verses, because the theme of this journal is kind of a Bible journaling kit. So I did put those in there. And then here's the first page. So this is part of the journal set that Daisy gave me to work with for this month for a design team. I added some pretty trim, otherwise I left it plain. And you can see that she had Bible verses on some of them. And then I chose to print on the back side just the plain paper without the Bible verses, because I figure whoever's getting this, if they want to add some of their favorite Bible verses, they're still able to add some sort of little ephemera piece with the Bible verse on it if they want. I did use coffee dyed paper in here, and I did a lot of stamping. Here's a little pocket I made with some just different ephemera piece that I had in my stash. Part of Daisy's envelope kits is she does have some inserts, and this is an insert from one of the envelope sets prayer envelope sets that she has, so I did add that right here for some extra journaling space. I do have some project life cards, some cutouts left over from other projects from paper, and then I did include in a lot of spots just some folded up stationery paper. Again, more of the beautiful digital kit. Here I just cut out some flowers from some scrapbooking paper and made it into a pocket, and so you can stick stuff either at the top or the bottom. So again, I just have a Project Life card, a K & Company tag, and then this is an altered library card with flowers on it. This is, Daisy does have these in her shop. This one is a kit that, or a ephemera kit that I purchased, and I just had some left from another project, so it fit the kit nicely, so I just added them in, which is always a nice thing about Daisy's kits, is a lot of them you can mix and match. Right here I created an altered paper clip and added some different stuff behind there. Another one of the vintage advertisements, another Project Life card. I did some stamping. One of my favorite Bible quotes is, "The love is patient, love is kind." So I stamped on there to make it into a journal card, and then some more stationery paper. So here's the middle. This does have 3 signatures. I don't know if I said that before. So here's the middle of the first signature. I did some stenciling in the side. This is part of Daisy's envelope set for the Bible journaling. So it's really pretty. I did ink the edges a little bit, added some trim right here. And then when you open it up, I did add a piece of scrapbooking paper to line it right here, just to give it a little more interest. And then here's one of the inserts that comes with the kit, with the envelope kit. Here I created a little tuck spot. And then Daisy does have these really nice calendar big element sets. So I did add one of those because those are really nice to use and to keep track of little things. Just a cutout from that says smile from a journaling or a past project. I made a little pink tag and then a little pink ticket. Some more. I really like this page right here. I like the colors, the yellows and the pinks on that one. Some more stamping. Right here I created a flip out. And inside I just added another little craft cardstock journaling card. Just a leftover piece of paper. The coffee dyed paper. Another Project Life card, and this was our local scrapbook store sells a paper that's called Adorn It, and you can actually cut them out and then color them. So I did watercolor this and added that to it. I thought that would match the kit nicely. And then here is the pink envelope that Kim had gifted me, and then I decorated it up with just some different Tim Holtz tags and some eyelash trim and flower embellishment. I did add a tag in there. Then it does flip open so you can have all this space to journal. And then I just added some die cuts and some more rubber stamping there. Like how that turned out. I just love this trim on the side. That came from Shonda. Just so pretty. So that was the end of the first signature, the beginning of the second. Here I created a little pocket that you can open up, and another one of the altered library cards with a flower on it. Some leftover parchment paper from a past junk journal. And then I created this little envelope with a die cut. It does open, and then there's another little thing in there you can journal on. And then behind this little pocket is a tuck spot or another pocket. And so I just added a tag that I made. And just another little Project Life card. I have so many of those Project Life cards, I'm slowly trying to use them up as journaling cards in my junk journals. Long time ago I went a little crazy and bought a whole bunch of them off the clearance racks at Michael's and Tuesday Morning. So here's another image that I watercolored. Another advertisement from one of Daisy's kits. Just some more Project Life cards and leftover paper, coffee dyed paper. And I just made a little tuck spot out of just a die cut that I had in my stash, and then I just put the little World Miracle right there on it. Some more stenciling, some stamping, and then this is the middle of the next signature. And again, it's the same as what I did on the other one with the trim, and then backing it on the inside, and then another one of her little inserts. They're really beautiful. And she does have them when you purchase these inserts in the envelopes. There are 2 of them, so you could fold it over. But I just chose to cut them in half, kind of, and use them as index cards. But you can fold them over and glue them so both sides are covered if you want. Or just fold it over and then you have 2 sides to journal on. But then you can also open it up and then journal on the inside too if you were to do it that way. But like I said, I just chose to cut them in half. Another altered paper clip that I created with some scraps from creating the journal, and then inside of it, or attached to it, another one of her library cards, or Daisy's library cards, a tag that I made out of leftover paper, another one of those inserts from the envelopes, and then another one of those big element calendar cards. To make sure I get it in all the way so I can fold the page. But really beautiful kit to work with. I really like it. And again, she has this kit with the Bible verses on it, but you can also buy these kits without the Bible verses on them too, if you want the kit but without the Bible verses. I did some stamping on just some paper, a tag, and another tag that I got from some other kit. And so there's a belly band right here. And I added the word "Count Your Blessings," and then I have the little paper clip here just to hold it shut, because you can flip it open and journal on the inside. But if I don't put the paper clip on there, it doesn't stay closed. Some more stamping. Here I stamped on a piece of back scrapbooking paper with a bingo card that I got that stamp recently from Carmen. Another journaling card or Project Life card. Here's another one of the insert cards for the envelopes. And then my friend Sherry gifted me a whole bunch of these that she colored. I think they're Prima. Something that you could color from Prima. So thank you for that. So on this side one, I just decorated it with some lace and then a little flower up here at the top. Some more of Daisy's beautiful digital kit. So you can see, like on this side there is no Bible verses, but on this side I did print the ones with the Bible verses. More stamping. Here's kind of a side pocket that I created. I just added another tag, some more stuff to journal on. And when I buy a lot of books at the thrift store to read, but then to also use when I make journals. But this was actually in one of the books that I bought from the thrift store, so I thought that went well with this journal, so I added that there. And then down here I created a little tiny pocket, just a leftover piece of paper from making this journal, so I created another little spot to journal on. Another one of the altered library cards. And some tags. This is just some handmade paper that someone had gifted me that I created into a tag. Some more stamping. Here I did a fold out, so I decorated this up with some die cuts. And then you open it up, and I have some stamping up here, but then you can also journal, and did some stamping right there. Here's another little pocket. This is like a triangle pocket that I created. And you can create these either with the point going in the middle or the point going on the outside. So I have another one where I use the other part of the paper on another sheet, but stamped on some cards or craft card stocked, some leftover parchment paper to write on, another stationery piece to write on. And on the front of the pocket, I did create another little tuck spot right here with different decorations with the tickets and the words the tag that I created. This is the middle of the last signature, and again, another one of Daisy's beautiful prayer envelopes with an insert on the inside. Some more stamping in each of the corners. Then here's the triangle pocket with the triangle, the point going on the outside. So inside of here, I stuck another one of the insert pieces, some stationery paper, and then right here, this was gifted to me quite a while ago. I can't remember who gifted it to me in a Happy Mail thing, but I did create, you add a little brad here, and so you can create a little spot to journal or take a little bit of a note or something, and then you can hide it again if you want with that. Made some page flags for up here, and I stuck in another one of the big elements, calendar pieces. This is just a piece from scrapbooking paper that I had left over. Some more leftover paper from making the journal, and then another one of the vintage advertisement pieces. I always like to decorate my little flags just by not only adding the flags at the top, but usually adding some sort of sentiment and some eyelash trim, or a butterfly would be nice too up there. Some more stamping. Another little pocket that I used with the die cut that I had. I think it's a Spellbinders one possibly, or a memory box, I can't remember. But another one of the inserts. And then I did a little bit more watercoloring on that one. A couple tickets I made from different rubber stamps that I have. And then this little die cut too, which I forgot to say. This one actually came from Renee, who's Wanna Craft here on YouTube, this pink one. And so I did use that. I forgot to thank her at the beginning of the video, so sorry about that, Renee. And then the last pages. And then back here, I have another one of those pockets. And then I created, Daisy has, which I used one of the covers. She has a cover set that you can use for your journals if you need a cover piece, like so right here. But what I chose to do is shrink it down and make just a little bit of a mini journal for the person that's getting this, so that they can, I didn't decorate any of the pages, but they can journal in there. Or this one, it says my prayer journal, so I thought maybe they could list, you know, all the people they want to keep in their prayers in there. So that fits in here. If the person that's getting this doesn't want this to be so bulky when you close it, I would take this out because this adds a little bit of bulk to it. Then as I printed this one off, I also printed this one off and made another little mini one when I shrunk it down. So I do have this one also that I will gift the person. It just was too bulky when I added both of them into here. And so that is my journal that I created. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them below. And I also love comments. So hopefully you'll leave a comment so that I know you stopped by to watch the video. So thanks so much for watching, and have an awesome day.